Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're zeroing in on a story that's been, well, sending pretty big ripples through the tech and investment world. We're talking about the remarkable surge of Oracle, its founder Larry Ellison's brief moment as the world's richest person, and what this all really signifies for the broader AI landscape. We're exploring the sort of hidden investment opportunities popping up from Oracle's AI boom. It's a really captivating story.
It is fascinating, isn't it, how one company's moment can just shine a light on these huge shifts across so many different sectors.
Yeah.
We're not just tracking a stock price here. We're really trying to dissect the underlying forces.
Yeah.
The ones fundamentally transforming entire industries, everything from data centers themselves to how we actually generate power.
Right.
And it makes you ask, okay, beyond the obvious big names, where are those critical, maybe overlooked shifts happening? The ones creating totally new paths for growth?
That's such a good point about the ripple effect. And for you, our listener, if you're finding these insights valuable, please do take a second to subscribe and maybe give us a like.
Yeah, that really helps.
It does. And your comments mean a lot. If there's a specific company or maybe a trend you'd like us to look into for a future conversation, just leave a comment below after we finish up today. We love hearing your suggestions. Okay, let's get into this incredible story. So, Oracle's recent performance. It's been pretty spectacular. We saw the stock jump, 42% overnight, closing up 35%.
It's huge numbers.
And that surge briefly pushed Larry Ellison past Elon Musk. Richest person in the world, even if just for a moment. Now, some might just see hype there, right? But what are the real forces driving this kind of market excitement around Oracle and AI?
That's the key question because it points to a really big strategic shift inside Oracle. I mean, they're evolving. From primarily a database company into really a key player in this whole AI infrastructure wave. And the market buzz, which really took off after their recent results, it's mostly focused on two massive things. Their remaining performance obligations, RPO, and their cloud infrastructure, OCI, revenue guidance.
Right, the RPO and OCI.
Exactly. These aren't just random numbers. They're like concrete signals of future business that's already lined up.
And those figures are... well, they're kind of striking. Oracle's RPO, that's future revenue, basically already in our contract, it shot up to $455 billion.
Yeah, it's down.
A 359% year-over-year increase. And $317 billion of that was added in just the first quarter?
In one quarter.
Yeah.
It just signals absolutely massive demand. Unprecedented, really, especially for their AI cloud stuff.
Okay.
Their OCI business specifically, that's projected to grow by 77% this fiscal year, hitting $18 billion.
Wow.
But even more impressive, look at their four-year plan. They see OCI revenue climbing aggressively, $32 billion, then $73 billion, $114 billion, and finally, get this, $144 billion in the fifth year.
That's an incredible ramp-up.
It's explosive growth. And that's exactly why some investors are starting to whisper, is Oracle the next NVIDIA? A company really set to define this next generation of tech infrastructure. It's quite a pivot, isn't it, for a company many saw as maybe more legacy tech not that long ago.
It really is. And Oracle's success, it's not happening in a bubble, right? The source material we looked at points to other really strong signals that this whole AI wave is far from over. It kind of reinforces this big industry shift.
Absolutely. Look at Broadcom, for instance. They have announced, $110 billion in backlogged orders?
$110 billion.
Or NBIS, they landed a nearly $20 billion order from Microsoft. I mean, these aren't small figures. They're huge commitments showing continued, really significant investment in that foundational AI infrastructure.
Yeah.
So industries like semiconductors, optical communications, everyone expects them to keep benefiting in a big way from this powerful trend. It shows the investment isn't just in one or two spots. It's spreading through the whole tech ecosystem.
Okay, so connecting these big numbers to a specific example really drives home the scale we're talking about. There's been a lot of chatter about a reported contract between OpenAI and Oracle. That paints a pretty vivid picture of this demand, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This detail is incredibly important. According to the reports, OpenAI signed a contract to buy something like $300 billion worth of computing power from Oracle.
$300 billion.
Over the next 5 years, starting in 2027. And look, this isn't just about buying processors. It's about the sheer, almost unbelievable amount of energy needed to run these next-gen AI operations.
The energy, yeah, let's talk about that because the requirements are just staggering, aren't they?
They are.
We're talking about 4.5 gigawatts of power capacity needed, which is roughly what, the output of 2 Hoover dams?
Exactly. Enough power for about 4 million homes.
Just for that one contract, potentially. So when we talk about these massive numbers, this incredible scale, what does it all mean for those hidden winners you mentioned earlier? Because it sounds like this isn't just about silicon chips anymore.
Exactly right. It forces us to rethink what the biggest constraints actually are for building these AI data centers. And media analysis is increasingly pointing towards power and cooling,
Not just GPUs.
not just GPUs anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, with the AI industry developing so fast globally, the competition for electricity is getting fierce. And naturally, all that high power consumption drives huge growth in cooling systems too,
Right. Got to keep things from melting.
pretty much. So while we often focus on the fancy chips, the basic, robust infrastructure supporting them, the power, the cooling that's quickly becoming the most critical and maybe the most lucrative area makes you wonder if our next big infrastructure projects will be mainly for data centers, not cities.
That's a wild thought.
Hmm.
Okay, so that distinction, the brain versus the life support, it's crucial. If power and cooling are the lifeblood, where are the most tangible investment opportunities? Let's break down the layers, maybe starting at the core with the AI chips themselves.
Sounds good. Yeah, the foundation is still the chips, of course. Here you're looking at the key players we know. NVIDIA, Advanced Micro Devices, Broadcom, they're pushing the computational limits.
The usual suspects.
Right. And then there's Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Absolutely critical, right? The foundry making many of these advanced chips for everyone else. Their tech is at the very heart of it.
Okay, so chips first. But then you need to manage all the data flowing between them in these huge networks. That brings us to switches, right? You can't have bottlenecks.
Precisely. You need efficient data flow. The sources highlight companies like Broadcom again, Cisco, Arista Networks, and Celestica here. Arista, for example, they really specialize in high-performance networking for these massive data centers, making sure data moves fast between thousands, maybe millions of processors in an AI cluster.
And moving data longer distances or just between components quickly, optical communication is key there, right? You need light speed connections for this volume of data.
You absolutely do. So companies like Lumentum, Astera Labs, Credo Technology, Corning, they're all in focus. Take Astra Labs, they do connectivity stuff crucial for AI, like PCIe retimers.
Okay.
It's not just moving data. It's ensuring these big, complex AI chips can talk to each other super fast without the signal breaking down. It's like the nervous system for these
Right.
data centers. And the demand for faster, more reliable connections is just going to explode.
Now, here's an interesting one you mentioned, fuel cells. Especially thinking about Oracle expanding data centers and their decarbonization goals. Not the first thing that comes to mind with AI.
Right. It's a less obvious link, but it's becoming more significant. Look at Bloom Energy. They supply fuel cells to Oracle. Their stock jumped over 14% overnight recently. That really highlights this growing demand for cleaner, maybe more localized power for these energy-hungry centers.
That was an interesting angle.
It tackles both power needs and sustainability concerns, potentially right on site.
Okay, so given that 4.5 gigawatts just for the potential open AI need, power infrastructure itself has to be a massive opportunity, not just generation, but the whole system.
Oh, absolutely massive. It covers a huge range. You've got independent power producers, like Vistra Energy, just generating the sheer volume of electricity. Then electrical equipment providers like Eaton Air Power Distribution Units, UPS systems. They're essential for keeping power stable and reliable in data centers.
Can't have downtime.
Exactly. Even the big vertically integrated utilities like Constellation Energy are having to adapt to this huge new source of demand. The impact is right across the energy supply chain. We're even seeing more talk about nuclear power companies like NuScale Power, looking at small modular reactors, SMRs,
Right, for stable, dense power.
Potentially, yeah, for future data center parks maybe.
And keeping all that hardware from overheating cooling systems. You said it's a major constraint, so that must be booming too.
Definitely booming. You've got liquid cooling specialists and their suppliers, like Vertiv's Holdings and Vent Electric Supermicro Computer. Vertiv, for instance, they're big in critical digital infrastructure, including specialized liquid cooling tech, which is getting essential as chips get hotter and denser.
Makes sense.
And even the traditional HVAC companies like Trane Technologies and Carrier Global, they're playing a role too, but with increasingly specialized gear. The hotter the chips, the more sophisticated the cooling needs to be. It's driving a lot of innovation and investment.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Beyond the traditional cloud giants, the source material talks about a new kind of infrastructure emerging just for AI. It calls them neoclouds. What exactly are those?
Yeah, neoclouds, it sounds a bit futuristic, but it represents a real shift.
Hmm.
Think of them as streamlined, faster, purpose-built cloud environments specifically for GPU-heavy workloads.
So not general purpose, like AWS or Azure might be.
Kind of. They're optimized purely for the intense demands of AI training and inference,
Yeah.
not necessarily for running your standard website or database.
Hmm.
The sources mention the hyperscalers adapting like Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Amazon. But then you have these dedicated neocloud giants like CoreWeave and Nebius.
CoreWeave comes up a lot.
Yeah, they focus almost exclusively on GPU-accelerated stuff, so they're popular with AI developers.
Yeah.
And then you have emerging neoclouds popping up too, like Iron, Hut 8, HIV Digital Technologies. It just shows how this specialized infrastructure is becoming a key differentiator.
Got it. So it's clear AI is this incredibly powerful force driving huge investment. Wells Fargo even acknowledged maybe a bubble aspect, but they also suggested the bull market keeps going as long as AI spending stays strong. Seems like a balanced view.
I think that's a crucial perspective. AI is widely seen as the most important new productive force for the next decade or two.
Yeah.
And this wave, by most accounts, is far from over. But you always need critical thinking, right? Despite the huge boost from Oracle, investors need to be aware of the risks. For Oracle specifically, maybe relying heavily on one huge client for that projected growth, the company's existing debt, the fact that OpenAI isn't profitable yet.
Right, those are real factors.
They're factors worth watching long term.
Yeah.
It raises that important question. How do these risks balance against this absolutely explosive growth? And what does that mean for you as an investor trying to navigate this?
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you, our listener? Oracle's really impressive performance. It isn't just about one company's stock price. It's more like a beacon, maybe?
Yeah.
Showing where the real growth and innovation are happening across the entire AI ecosystem.
Yeah.
From the chips themselves all the way out to the power plants and the cooling systems, keeping everything running. It feels like a fundamental shift in how we think about infrastructure.
I think that's exactly right. This whole look at the ripple effects from Oracle really highlights how the AI revolution is so much more than just software or even just the processors. It's about the fundamental infrastructure, the actual picks and shovels, the wires, the pipes, the megawatts needed to power our future. And this huge shift towards massive energy needs, advanced cooling. It suggests these picks and shovels might be more foundational and honestly, maybe more lucrative than many people first thought. It's driving innovation in places we probably weren't looking just a few years back.
A truly fascinating conversation today. Lots to think about there. Until next time, keep learning, keep asking questions, and we'll see you on the next show.